I'm better now.
Thanks. I don't have any magic tricks. I kind of feel like I showed up for dinner without anything.
I wouldn't worry about that. You got magic written all over you, child.
Oh, thank you. That's good medicine for a single girl.
Woo. I'm single too.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you enjoying bachelor life?
I'm enjoying bachelor life immensely. Because I get to look at you and drool. No matter what. I'll respond to it. Right?
Indeed.
Carol, the impetus for this investigation was actually my own experience with Morgan Freeman at a junket last year for the movie Going in Style. Right when I walked into the room, he began making sexually suggestive comments to me. Now, as an entertainment reporter for over a decade, it was unlike anything I truly have ever experienced. One of those comments was caught on tape. In this comment that's on tape, he says to me, "Boy, do I wish I was there," while looking me up and down. I was 6 months pregnant at the time, and his co-stars Alan Arkin and Michael Caine were seated on either side of him and actually looked at him when he made this comment to me. Again, it was caught on tape, and take a note of Freeman's eyes in this clip.
One time I congratulated a woman on being pregnant and she wasn't. And so I've never done it again. For 50 years I've never done it.
You've learned your lesson.
I learned my lesson.
Boy, do I wish I was there.
This movie is...
As you see, that was quick right there, but there were other comments made to me by Freeman before and after this one, but they were not caught on tape. We reached out to Alan Arkin and Michael Caine, his co-stars who were seated next to him, and they could not, well, Alan Arkin could not be reached for comment, and Michael Caine declined to comment.
Carol, these are just a few of the allegations.
God bless one. Thank you for watching another episode of I Smoke Hip Hop. Guys, on today's episode, I wanted to talk about this Morgan Freeman allegations. As you guys know, there's a lot of reports that's been going on over the years on Morgan Freeman and this hashtag #MeToo movement. Unfortunately, we have another victim of this movement, and that's being Morgan Freeman. He's been accused of inappropriate behavior and also harassment. And as we're indulging into this, I'll give you guys my feeling and opinion about this, but I'm going to dig in more and talk more about the allegations that he's facing. A young production assistant thought she had the job of her dreams in her life when she landed the role this summer in 2000, or last summer, well, a couple of summers ago. And that's the thing about this Me Too movement. It's always allegations several years, if not decades later. And we're going to dig into that too. And I understand people say, well, they're hiding because there's a lot of things going on. There's drawbacks, there's PTSD involved. We're going to talk about that. Let's dig in more. She said the summer of 2015, she started to work on Going in Style, a bank heist comedy starring Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, and Alan Arkin. Oh, let me say his name properly. I don't want to mess it up. It's Arkin. And I'm going to talk about Caine and Arkin a little bit later. This guy plays a major part in what we're going to talk about, guys. But the thing about this is that she continues going deeply and saying that quickly things turned, that she thought she landed a job of her dreams. Morgan Freeman continued to pursue her in a mentor kind of way, and then things later on became just obnoxious behavior, gestures. He's throwing verbal languages at her that would emphasize he wants her in a facetious way. She said he does things like continually jab at her if he can get inside her panties. He'll touch her skirt. He'll lift it up a little bit at a certain angle, not all the way up, she said. And that's important, guys, because remember, she emphasized that part. He didn't lift it all the way up. He just touched the skirt and lifted up and said what underwear she's wearing today. And I'm going to also talk about why that part about she emphasizing lifting up the skirt, and say she's going to talk about it like a little bit later. Like, that bothers me, man. Just that little details to the article tells me if somebody, in fact, I'm not going to wait till later. I'm indulging now. This Me Too movement thing is actually bothering me. I'm not a sexist man. Do I believe sexual harassment is going on in a proportionate way and fashion on women? Yes, I think sexual harassment is at an all-time high for women, and I'm not going to lie about that, and I'll explain that also as well. But yes, it's at an all-time high, but is that an exception to take this so-called movement or attention and use it to belittle and kill or destroy what a man has built and brought up? And I'm gonna say that for a reason. This Me Too movement isn't nothing new. These things were going on over the years, during the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, and it became a big movement around the 60s and 70s. It's just a different name or changing over the years, but things are continually the same, man. Okay, now here's my opinion on the whole matter. Did Morgan Freeman, because you guys have to understand, this young lady who done this allegation is not the only lady. There's actually a total of 8 women, if not more, because we know with this Me Too movement, they come out the woodworks. I don't know where they come from, but a lot of them come out the woodworks with these allegations. But we do know this Me Too movement that we have to deal with, this Me Too. It's a fascination of someone who has looked at a way to now gain attention and gain sympathy, if not unwarranted needs that she never even desired in the first place. It's now a safe haven for anybody who hasn't even went through actual real assault or anything. It's safe haven for those of us who have clinical depression, those of us who have insecure problems, those of us who don't have the confidence that others exude and show. It's for people who now can navigate themselves towards the spectrum of being in the light. And these are some of the things I don't understand with this Me Too movement. We can call out men on their behavior, but why has the Me Too movement never been towards females? Because if we're going to talk about sexual harassment and what the Me Too movement is, that means men have been getting sexually harassed by females since the maturation process of looking like a man. Because I think I get sexually harassed by a woman every day, not including my wife. I mean, the way women look at you or pat you in the butt. You guys really think a man is exaggerating when we say women pat us in the butt at all times? I remember back in 2001, or if not 2000, and I was working at Wendy's when I was a teenager. And I just remember a co-worker of mine never liked me, well, at least I thought she didn't like me. She was like 2 grades older than me. She never paid attention to me, always called me skinny, always called me this and that. I remember I wore some pants, some jean work pants that we had to come in with. I thought it was like skinny jeans or whatever, and I was kind of uncomfortable because I like wearing fitted jeans, not baggy jeans, not skinny jeans. I like fitted jeans. So when I looked at her, I was like, what do you mean by that statement? Because she looked at my pants and said, it's nice. And I said, what you mean by that? And she said, the pants is nice because you have a great butt. And you know, me being a man, I'm not used to a female saying I got a good butt. That's weird. No man should envy having a so-called great butt. But anyways, neither here nor there. It's just the way she kept going on about it. And then she went on to touch my butt too and said, see, you got a great butt. And of course, me being a teenager, I didn't get mad at that. I didn't get upset at that. If anything, I wanted to take her in the back room and do some things to her. If you guys want me to be honest, just being honest. But that's the problem here. According to what the Me Too movement is, that's clearly sexual harassment. This lady was 19 years of age, older than me, and fondling me, touching me, telling me what she want to do with me, telling me that I'm beautiful, this and that. Did I take it in an ill manner as sexual harassment? No. I understand in the different species of sex that we have, male and female I'm talking about, i.e. that. Let's understand it's a gender thing I'm talking about. I'm talking, oh, you think we're animals? Oh, because we know you have to be specific in what you're saying when talking about or debating these feminists, aka Me Too movement people. So now I just remembered, I thought to myself, this is the behavior that's normal, but now I'm looking at all these articles, it's seeming that anything is considered sexual harassment. I mean, if you even look at a female, she can literally say you sexually harass her with your eyes by engaging with her. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I have another story for you guys. And I know you're like, when he's gonna get on to the Morgan Freeman situation. Well, I have to break it down before I talk about it, because in this kind of situation, you can't just indulge yourself into it and just, hey guys, this is what it is and that's what. No, you have to look at it from all type of angles and people understanding your mindset and why do you feel such ways. That's why I'm presenting basically a background to my situations and my opinions on the Me Too movement. But I remember it was my first year in the military service. I was in the United States Army, and I remember this young lady, a white female, well, let's not even use race, because I've had multiple situations happen to me in the so-called Me Too movement way by multiple women of all race and nationalities. So we're not going to even talk about the race at all. We're going to stick to the focal points. Okay, I remember my first year in the military, and it was a young lady. She had a tattoo on her ankle. I've never paid attention to her. I'll explain to you why I know she had a tattoo on her ankle. I've never talked to this girl, never was even attracted to her. Was she beautiful? Maybe, but I don't even know, because during those days, I was so focused in my first year in the military. And not even first year I'm talking about now. I'm just talking about boot camp, the situation happened in. I was focused in boot camp. Me being a skinny guy, you have to work 2 times harder than your counterparts. This is a fact. So my mindset was always focused on the main goal was to be the best, strive to be the best soldier that I could be. And I just remember the girl was flirting with everybody at all times, but she had one of the worst attitudes, if not just the meanest. And I'm one of those guys, when I see somebody with a bad, mean attitude, I always feel like I can break the ice and get them out of that shell, because that shell is just a defense mechanism. I just have that type of personality. I can make anybody be cool with me, even if one doesn't want to be. So back into that, I noticed it was a particular day we had in the field to go training. She was just doing her regulars, running, and we had like I think a 5-mile march. We had an 8-mile march prior to a 5-mile run, and in between that, we had a little break, an intermission. And a lot of people was showing off tattoos, and she came out of nowhere and told everybody, "Do you guys see my ankle tattoo?" And I'll never forget it. It was like a miniature cartoon-looking fish. No, not Nemo, because Nemo wasn't even out yet by then. But it was that basically, and I was saying, "Don't get involved in it," because something just felt weird when she jumped and just, because remember, we was in our own group, and she just decided to come amongst us because we were talking about tattoos, and she just said, "This is my tattoo over here." I'm like, okay. Anyways, back with that being said, I still commented and I was showing off my tattoos. Next, she asked me, does her tattoo look good even though it's one? I didn't want to say anything, but again, I'm the guy who can break ice with people and say certain things and make you be cool and chill. So I tell her, to be honest with you, you need a little bit more tattoos. It's kind of naked. And in terms of if you have a tattoo and someone say it's kind of naked, meaning you don't have enough tattoos to go with whatever you're having. All I told the girl was, she needed more tattoos, but the tattoos she had, it looks real beautiful. And honestly, I don't even remember if I even cared if it was beautiful or not, or if I even cared she had a tattoo, or if I even cared about her in general. It was being nice. This is what parents teach kids to do, is to be nice to others. But when I told her that, she started giggling and getting happy, giddy, like just her vibrations was more of, "Thank you very much. I used to be in a shell. Thank you for getting me out of it." She didn't say that, but body language and vibrations are everything. You can clearly see she was emphatic. She was just happy, and just that somebody is showing her some type of respect and love, because she clearly seen a lot of people had a disdain for her. Just who she was, it was a clear disdain a lot of people had for her. So we're trying to make our way back into the mindset of, let me be cool and cordial with this girl. And after I started talking to her, like probably 3 minutes after that, a little bit more, just to engage in a conversation and know who she is. She said she was from Arkansas. I sound from Florida and stayed a little bit in New York. I got recruited over there in New York. And I started talking about that, and she said, thanks. I didn't try to give her a hug. I didn't lean. I didn't do any of that. This girl hugs me, which in my mind, I was uncomfortable, because being in the military, there's no fraternization. So when she hugged me, my alarms went up, because of course my dickhead is thinking, oh, this girl better chill before, because in boot camp, we're not allowed, there's no sex. Of course sex goes on, but I'm not going to say too much. That's for my book later on. But I mean, in the military, you know what I'm saying? We're not even allowed to eat anything sweet, no cakes, nothing. Like, you have to, because you're a military property when you sign that contract. So they're trying to make sure you're in a tip-top shape as possible. And I got aroused a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. And any male who's well endowed and this and that, like if you have shorts on or something like that, and a woman leans and give you a hug, she's gonna feel something. And I didn't have a woody or anything like that. I'm just speaking facts. Gave me a hug, she felt something and smiled and said, but in a good way. She was like, okay. And I'm thinking in my mind, being a typical young guy, full of adrenaline, full of testosterone, oh, see, I broke the ice with this girl. And mind I tell you, she's the one who was touchy, she's the one who approached, she's the one who hugged, she's the one who done everything but rape me right there. And I'm still thinking it's cool. And I'm chilling. Everything was cool. In fact, we went to train later that day. We ate dinner that day. Everybody, not me and her. I'm talking about the whole platoon. Actually, the whole battalion. And after eating chow, we went to go clean our weapons. And I was in an area where it was, I don't know how to explain it because she's nowhere in the vicinity. I was almost in an all-male one, but it was, I don't know what you call it when, you know, duel this, do that. So we passed by the females at times and we got to see them. And when I seen her again, she said hi to me again and said, hi, Mario. Mario's my middle name. My first name is Shadrach. And everybody, if you're in a military service member, you know our last name is what's called. So when she said Mario, I'm also thinking, how the hell she knew my last name? That means this girl has done her investigation on me, looked up on me. That means she was intrigued by me. And I still didn't take that bait because I knew for some type of feeling, I felt it was like a bait, but I didn't say anything. So 3 days go by and everybody's cordial with each other. Next thing you know, I get called in the first sergeant's office. And while I'm in the first sergeant's office, and he tells me, you're a great soldier, everything is good with you, everything is going on, it's excellent. But here's the situation we're having here. There's a young lady who said you sexually harassed her. Now, mind I tell you, I'm thinking there's only one person that can say something like that, because during that time, I'm trying to be the best soldier I can be again. I'm trying to get out the way. I'm not trying to get in trouble. I'm just trying to stay focused. And I get a sexually harassment charge on me, and I'm thinking, when did this happen? But I still think I know, because I'm strategic on everything I do, and I remember everything almost verbatim in what I do. That's what you have to do to stay alive out here in this jungle. Then they bring up the charges on me. They said, she said you sexually harassed her, and I told them that's easy for somebody to say. This is me talking to first sergeant now. I get at parade arrest, and I said, permission to speak, sergeant. They said, go ahead, soldier. I said, thank you, sergeant. I said, first of all, what is sexually harassment according to her and you guys and what I did? And they said, well, we don't quite really know. She said you made her feel uncomfortable. You sexually harassed her about a tattoo on her ankle. You said you might want to do some things to her with her ankle. I'm just like looking at them like, y'all for real? And I told my first sergeant from man to man, I was like, I didn't even go into details about she hugged me first, she's the one who approaches. I didn't need to, because I know these are men and these are intelligent men. I didn't do all of that. I looked at them in the eyes and I said, you know what, guys? If I would have sexually harassed that girl, why just say a nice tattoo? Why not just grab her by her breast and grab her by her pussy? Yup, just like Donald Trump did. Why not just do that if I'm going to sexually harass this girl? I'm going to comment on her tattoo and that's sexual harassment. And then I told them, so if I said she had a nice tattoo, that's sexual harassment. They all looked at me in that room. Like, you can tell they was going to get in a long conversation with me. They was going to scold me. They was going to yell. They all looked at me after I said that and said, just leave the room right quick. Come back later. We'll come and get you. They didn't come back and get me until 3 hours later. And they told me, just forget about what we called you in the room for. That was my first encounter ever in life with being accused of sexually harassing somebody. And I know you guys are like, why did he go so long and talking like that? I wanted you guys to get a breakdown in the narrative, in a woman's mindset, in what goes on in her mind to do this. And again, look at the type of woman. It's not just any random woman who just do these sexually harassment charges. It's a woman who's already scolded and hurt inside. I don't know on what, but she's a woman who's not happy, clearly. Majority of these women, if not 95%, I haven't even done any statistics. It's just knowing women. Majority of these women have a bitter rage of anger, and it builds up and manifests into this false narrow reality that's not really there, that leads to tragedy of an unknown victim that's going to just get the verbal assault of society and what they feel is big. And I think that's unfair and it's unjust. There's no real men's advocate to help men. And it does fall back on Morgan Freeman, because when Morgan Freeman would later apologize for this, but clearly when he apologized for this, Morgan Freeman was not apologizing, admitting guilt. It's just by the letter of the law of what sexually harassment is. We all sexually harass people. By the letter of the law, if I even say hi to a female, just by the way I say hi, she can say I sexually harassed her. If I look at a female and smile at her, maybe because I liked a certain shirt she had on, you know, that was nice, or my wife was wearing the same shirt and I see it on another individual who's my coworker, and I look at it, I don't see anything, I smile a little bit, but it's really to myself because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wow, my wife has that shirt too. This woman now can say I sexually harassed her, although we've never had an encounter, never spoke, never done anything, never even crossed the line, just been the utmost respectful and gentleman I can be to this woman. She can just at any time, even 15 years, 50 years after me working there, she can just come out the woodworks. He sexually harassed me, and the world will come to her arms. The world will come be her avenger, savior, and just come save this woman. Based on what? Based on what? This is the systematical problem that's going on right now. Unfortunately, a lot of us are going to succumb to this. A lot of us are going to suffer to this. And these are the things that are going on with this Me Too movement. We don't have any real men's advocates to speak on this. We don't have men advocates speaking on women who throw their bodies everywhere. And, well, in fact, I don't even want to talk. See, I know how to break down this Me Too movement without even talking about the whores who are the leaders and the front runners of the Me Too movement. Because, yes, guys, there's a lot of whores who are actually taking away from actual good women who's been sexually harassed. There's a lot of whores portraying a false image and narrative that they never even been through or even witnessed, let alone probably gave the consent for the man to do that to them. So I'm not going to talk about the sexual whores and this and that. We're just going to talk about how women who supposedly run these groups, but when it happens vice versa to men, they never speak up for men. And I'm hearing a lot of people say, well, women need these advocate groups because they don't have anybody to speak for them. Are you guys kidding me? Do you know since the 50s, if not 60s, like how many women rights groups there have been? Even right now, like you can't count on a chart scale how many groups they have out right now on all levels and scales out there to help women. No matter what the charges or situation is, whether for housing, money, or anything, but hell, the government themselves has made a living on giving welfare, any type of justice of aid that comes to women only. If a man has 30 kids, he will not get that help. A woman can have 30 baby daddies and the government will continually flood her with all type of subsidies, aids, and help. While threatening the man, if he don't pay this amount a month, he's going to jail, period. If the Me Too movement was real, why not make a Me Too movement about men rights? So I know those are going to say, well, the Me Too movement never titled it women only. But the truth is, tell me one incident where the Me Too movement has spoke up for males that has been sexually harassed. The last man I seen in Hollywood was Terry Crews. Ladies and gentlemen, Terry Crews was sexually harassed. Yet I've seen nobody speak up for Terry Crews on his situation. Not one person. I didn't see one person in this Me Too movement engage themselves in helping Terry Crews during his situation. I've seen certain television talk shows, they brought him in to speak, but after that, where is it? It's been a whole year later. Where are the people who are supposedly supporting Terry Crews during his encounter with sexual harassment in the Hollywood workplace? I'm waiting. Where was those people to help the likes of Terry Crews? Or the likes of young men like myself who are, not that we're afraid, that we don't understand what a sexual harassment really is. So when a female is sexually harassing us, we have the bravado and the moxie to think is simply as this is what is supposed to happen. So where are the people that say that women are not supposed to do that to men? Not that I have a problem with women touching me and speaking, because I don't. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I look at that normal as possible. But in this age of society, we're living with laws in a civil society. Where is the so-called advocates and laws that help men like me and many others from women sexually harassing us? I'm waiting. You won't find any because you don't have a full throttle group of men running around saying that women are attacking us, women are hitting us with barrage of insults and this and that. Hell, women are the greatest people who can diss a man real good. I remember being in school, women love saying, he has a little dick, or he has a big dick, or look at his arms, or look at his body. Like, women look at us like we're sex objects only, and that's not a problem, but you don't see men complaining about that. So the minute a man tells a woman she looks beautiful, or she looks gorgeous, or gives you a compliment, I don't really see how that's sexual harassment. And some people go, but I'm married, I'm in a relationship. What if that man didn't know that? And even if he knew you're in a relationship, if you tell him once, look, I'm uncomfortable with you saying this doesn't make me feel comfortable, I guarantee you there's not a man in the world that wouldn't look at you and go, you know what, I'm gonna leave this girl alone. She's uncomfortable, you know, she's telling me she doesn't like this, and in fact, she's making me uncomfortable. I'm gonna just stay away from this one. You'll be surprised with a little bit of truth and self-confidence if you ladies stop Jerzeying yourself and how you're God's gift to the world, and if you simmer down and become humble, you'll realize, if you be honest with a man, how much respectful he'll be vice versa towards you. You'll be surprised. But you have a false sense of narrative in what a man is and what he's supposed to be. The contradiction in a woman telling me what a man is supposed to do, supposed to be, that's like me telling a woman what she's supposed to be, because I'm not telling a woman what she's supposed to be. I'm merely encountering in this argument of the Me Too movement. But imagine me telling you as a woman how to put your period pad on, or how to do your hair, or what you like, the A to B to C, this and that. Imagine I'm a man telling you on how to be a woman. That's a farce. These are the things that are deeply rooted and not talked about. So this whole Me Too movement, and now we're having victims after victims in the Cosby. Do I believe the Cosby situation? I don't believe he raped the ladies, but I do believe he intoxicated them with these drugs. And I believe the women were consent and they wanted that to happen, because during these days, it is crazy what's going on. Now, these new allegations over the years, I'm not sure. I'm really talking about the 70s allegations. When you have all these allegations, it becomes so blurry to the point you have to be honest and just say you don't know anymore. At one point in time, I did know. And me knowing Bill Cosby and what he has been to the community, I used to say all these allegations were false, to the point that now I'm out of it. Do I feel like somebody was out to get Bill Cosby and they put him down? Yes, I believe they took their source of income and paid these women to come out and say this. I believe that. That doesn't mean these women are lying or whatever, but it does show a clear espionage conspiracy going on. Other than that, like, I can't defend Bill Cosby if he's, guilty or not. There's so many allegations and rumors over the years on Bill Cosby. And for those who don't know Bill Cosby, it's not my first time hearing he's fondled women's or he's put pills in their puddings, pops. I mean, we had jokes of this in elementary. I'm surprised by a lot of people not knowing about this. That clearly shows I'm getting older. So, but yeah, man, my whole life was growing up on the Cosby, from Fat Albert to the Cosby Show to he had other sketch. He had comedy TV series he was hosting, to movies like I Spy or Ghost. I mean, hell, even A Different World, which was a spinoff from the Cosby Show. Everything this guy touched was gold. Shit. I suffered with this man when he lost his son, like back in '96 or '97. I remember it was a rainy day, and his son was doing his tires, fixing it, trying to get help, and he got killed. A lot of people are gonna say it's a sacrifice, Illuminati this, Illuminati that. I'm merely saying that I felt like I was a part of the Cosby life, but do I feel like he's 100% innocent? I can't say that. And a lot of people are scared to say that. You see how honest I am? But the Me Too movement will have you thinking that men are just some savage creatures that are out here. What woman can I fondle? What woman can I harass? I mean, this is insane. It's asinine. In the words of Stephen A. Smith, it's asinine to think that there's not a vast majority of women lying about being sexually harassed because they know that the rules are in favor of them. Guys, I'm going to have more videos and commentary about this. I just want to give this first-hand reaction into what I'm seeing. This is basically a first-hand reaction. It's not rolling down. It's not written. It's not edited. You're just getting it off me coming from work. I have to sit down and I have to see this crap on the news again and again and again and again and again. And it's like you'll never stop. My challenge to everybody out there is inform yourself on this more. Try to help more. If you're a man, stop hating on another man when you see certain allegations like this. Of course, you have to have an understanding and sympathy for the female, but also have an understanding and sympathy for the man who's been accused as well. Wait till the evidence or the situation comes even more light so we can see what the actual truth is before we ridicule and subject somebody into a Neanderthal way of life, a caveman basically way of life, and avert vitriol of attacks relentlessly for no reason other than a woman saying he looked at me wrong. Jesus. I'm your guy, Blessed One. Thank you for watching another episode of Hip Hop. This was my podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll have many more. My videos on YouTube are based on a lot of different contents. I'll be aligning and doing some adjustment on a lot of contents I have on this channel, and just do different channels so I can separate them, because I do understand a lot of my fans don't like this or don't like that, and I am a blogger that listens to his core audience and fans. I don't just shove you guys and act like I don't hear what's going on. So I hear everything that's going on, and I'd like to tell you guys thank you. I appreciate the support. If you guys would like to support me and show some love, feel free to check out my PayPal. It's going to be I Smoke Hip Hop Live. If you look at the link in the description box, and if you have a PayPal and you're used to doing emails, that's going to be ismokehiphop@gmail.com. And if you don't have the incomes and you're not in a situation to donate, well, you can donate by subscribing to me if you're new. Please, and if you're already subscribed to me, you can help out by just sharing this video or sharing my channel to others. You guys have a blessed day. I'm your guy, Blessed One. It's been real with dealing with you guys. Love your family, love your kids, and stay blessed, everybody. Peace, love. Just be honest.